and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet.
Alrighty. How's everybody doing? Good Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. I'm sorry. Sunday evening. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Excuse me. All right. So this is a do-over from Sunday. I mean, no. What day is it? No, it's a do-over from Thursday. I'm sorry. Do-over from Thursday. Thursday was the DNC, final day of the DNC. Also, it was we had a little, I don't know what the hell. We had some type of racist takeover towards the end of the show. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I think that happened because of streaming the DNC. Probably got in the algorithm for politics, and the protesters were alive and well in the streets of Chicago, and they were also alive and well on the internet. So I think that's why that happened Thursday. Nonetheless, we're gonna try it again. I got a good 2 hours I can spend, and then I gotta go because I got a dinner that I have to make. So I got about a good 2.5 hours, so I can kick it. So this is the call-in show. This is for coaching and advice. That's what the purpose of the call-in show is for. So if you need your questions answered, now is the time. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. You gotta be on camera. I'm not bringing anybody up that's not on camera. I need to be able to see you. I need to be able to hear you. All right, before we bring you on camera. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. All right. Just make sure that you got your questions together. And make sure you are in full business mode. All right. Link pinned to the top of the chat. Call-in show. Link is pinned to the top of the chat. You dig. All right. In the meantime, in between time, been kind of dull as far as trucking is concerned. Definitely box trucking. Trucking, I've seen a lot of people exiting out of the industry, going company, either exiting out altogether or exiting owner-operator status and going company. That exodus is alive and well going into the holiday season. So there's a lot of things going on, man. I see, and I'm not really hearing good news from just the people that I see making content. I just see a lot of exiting, a lot of complaining. So, but nonetheless, you got to do what's best for you and your business. And I think doing what's best for you and your business while you're in business is, like I always say, understanding your cost, understanding your operational cost, knowing your cost per mile, understanding what you're investing in, continuing to educate yourself so that you can compete. All right. Nothing is easy. Someone told you that this industry was easy. They told you a fib. It is very competitive and it's very tough, but you can't complain. You cannot complain. All right. Business owners, they don't complain. They don't. All right. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let's see who we got in here. We didn't do the roll call. That's what we missing. Shout out to Great Polo. I see Great Polo. Rich Jew. Shout out to all the MGM members, GOAT Logistics, Who else we got? Transportation Boys. Transportation Boys was cooking up yesterday in the Discord for about 4 hours. Listen, Transportation Boys got to connect. Transportation Boys making about 10,000 a week in his box truck. on the real. You making about 10 G's a week on average. Hey, listen. Shout out to Jonathan Turner, Maximize Trucking. Shout out to Jonathan Colin. Shout out to all the MGM members, Rich Jew, Jonathan Turner. Frederick Hampton says he's in the Chris Z is you dig what I'm saying? Shout out to SD Walk. Maximize Trucking. I saw Maximize Trucking post something in the Discord. Looked like he had a little trouble at Amazon a few days ago. Looked like he had somebody called them people. Somebody called the people on Maximize Trucking. Maximize Trucking pulled up to Amazon to get a load. And for some reason, Amazon called the people on them. Now, if you don't know who the people is, then the people is the D's, the Fuzz. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So they put them people in his business. And did I watch the whole video? I think I did watch the whole video. I didn't fully understand why Amazon put them people in his business, but they definitely called them people on him. So shout out to Maximize Trucking. I hope you get that figured out with Amazon. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Hearn. What's going on? South Louisiana in the building. Ken Hooten. Represent that Lou. That's St. Louis. Shout out to everybody down in St. Louis, Missouri, and East St. Louis, Illinois. Von Gray, what up? Manny the Driver, what's going on? Velocious Logistics, what up? Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to all the moderators. All right, man, it's the call-in show, man. You dig? Go on here and hit that linkage. Let's get this one out the way. This is episode 30. Not 30, but 30. All right. It's episode 30. This is going to be the last and final episode of the call-in show for now. All right. We're going to round up season 1 with 30 episodes. 30 great episodes, too. These have been some great episodes, and I thank all the participants that have called up. I appreciate everybody, but I think I am going to conclude season 1 with this last and final episode, and then we will reconvene with season 2 during the holiday season when people are at home, when it's cold outside, and people need good content to view. So we'll reconvene season 2 sometime around November, December. You dig what I'm saying? Dirty South Radio online and TV. DJ Hollywood here, out here in my cargo van in El Paso, Texas. Shout out to DJ Hollywood out there in Texas getting it in. What up? Maximize Trucking said they did. They kicked them out of Amazon. Banned them. They banned them out of Amazon. Listen, Amazon just trying to get rid of y'all, man. You know, they listen. I told y'all 2 years ago what it was. Y'all didn't listen to me though. Y'all was Amazon crazy 2 years ago. Listen, you couldn't say nothing bad about Amazon. 2 years ago, let you try to come on YouTube and say something bad about Amazon, man. They was coming for you. The content creators was coming for you. The subscribers was coming for you. You could not say nothing bad about Amazon 2 years ago. Now, listen. Amazon did what most businesses do. When they needed you, it was smiling in your face all the time. They want to kick you out. The backstabbers. They smiling in your face. Yeah, they don't need you. They got to cut capacity, man. Ain't too much volume, right? It's as far as the volume to meet the capacity, right? So they start the weeding out process. That's all that is. just weeding people out, uh, create more uh, tougher protocols so that people can X themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. When they needed the supply, right? They had laxed rules, lax protocols, lax processes, lax procedures. Everything was lax. And I talked about that on one of my earlier live streams. When I first started live streaming, I talked about how Amazon, in comparison to its peers, UPS and FedEx, how Amazon was just really, 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 really like laxed. Like, man, a lot of the shit that you could get away with at Amazon, you could not get away with at UPS and FedEx. And there was a reason for that. They were willing to turn an eye to a lot of things and have lax rules because they knew that if they tightened up and they ran strict like a UPS or like a FedEx, it would deter and it would prevent a lot of people from being able to onboard onto their platform to ultimately meet the demand of the volume that they had at that particular time. And I said that. There's no way a company like Amazon was that laxed. Like, come on, man. Like, they were, when I say laxed, a company like Amazon that lax, like, only, and I said it, and that doesn't make me. It was just what's known don't need to be explained. A company that is that big is just not gonna just be laxed on, unless there's a reason for it. And normally, when there's a reason for it, there's dollar signs behind it. Man, I don't need it no more. Let's tighten ship. Let's weed people out. Let them kill themselves off. And then if we have to, turn it up a notch from there, then we will. But if we start tightening shit up, a lot of people gonna X themselves off. And that's what it is. Ain't nothing. Mark, what do you think about you? You gotta come up and hit the link, man. It's the call-in show. I can't on the call-in show days. I can't read questions. I'm not. I can't read on the call-in show day. I can only hear. On call-in show days, I'm illiterate when it comes to reading. I don't read anything in the chat that got a question mark. You have to hit the linkage. You got to hit linkage on call-in show day. If you want your question answered without linkage, then you got to wait to a Q&A day. On call-in show day, you got to hit linkage. You have got to hit linkage. We can kick it, we can talk, but you got to come up and hit linkage, sir. Got to hit linkage, sir. Got to hit linkage, sir. So, Jonathan, if you want to kick it, you got to hit linkage. And it's pinned to the top of the chat, too. So, I made it easy for you. It's pinned to the top. Just look up and then click it. And voila. Magic. Remember that old Future song? Voila. Magic. Voila. Magic. Mm-hmm. That used to be my cut, too. That magic. That was my cut, boy. Voila, magic. I don't know, Maximize Trucking. Me personally, I wouldn't even been getting into all that with them people. I just left. It wouldn't even been no reason for me to go through all that. I would just been Audi 5000. I'm not finna be arguing with nobody. Straight up. I would have just skirted. They've been trying me like that they've been trying you for 3 years. Shit. All it take is one time for me. You know what I mean? So, what's good? What's good, Fonzo Trucker? What's good, people? Long time no see. Yes, sir. Still here. Shout out to all my semi drivers that watch. Old Marky Mark. Link is pinned to the top of the chat for the call-in show. Link pinned to the top of the chat. Mm-hmm. You said that was an iconic car, the Audi 5000? Yes, sir. Back in the 90s, we used to be like, I'm Audi 5000. That was an iconic car. The BMW i8. I mean, not the BMW i8. The BMW 850i. The 850i. That Chevy Broham. Classic. That Chevy Broham. That box. Classic. That Grand National. Classic. That Cuddy. Pretty much every Cuddy. That 96 Cuddy, though, was classic. What else? What else? I mean, we can go older than that. Obviously, the 63, 64 Impala Classic. You know, so that big body Benz in the 90s. That big body Benz, that S5. Ooh, that when they came out with that big body Benz, classic. Especially that S600, that V12. Ooh, that S6, that big V12, nasty. Frederick Hampton said that 5.0, that Mustang 5.0. Yes, sir. That 5.0 was diesel. I wasn't no big fan of the 5.0 though. I just really, I know it got popular in the hood after Menace to Society. I know Vanilla Ice used to always talk about the 5.0 roll-in. Then my 5.0 with my rag top down so my hair can't blow. The girlie's on standby, waving just to say hi. Did you stop? Nah, I just rolled by, kept on. Pursuing to the next block. I bust a left and now I'm headed to the next block. The block was dead. So we headed to A18 Beachfront Avenue. What's that old Vanilla? 5.0. I just really didn't like the 5.0 though. Yeah, I didn't really care for the 5.0. But it was a classic though. You gotta give it to him. Mastermind say you want an 88 Caprice. You want to get you an 88? You should be able to find you one online at an auction. You should be able to find you one at an auction. Frederick said, you know the words to that? Listen, people can front all they want, but when Vanilla Ice came out, man, everybody was listening to that shit. Everybody was listening to Vanilla Ice when he came out. You can act like you don't. Acura Legends was the shit. Yo. Hold on, let's see. We got somebody. Hold on, we got somebody. Give me 1 second. I just got to do my you did. What's going on?
What's good with you, fam? How you be, man?
What's good? Where you from?
I'm from East Chicago, Indiana.
I knew you was close by. I could hear it in your lingo. What's the deal though?
Man, I'm just touching down, man. Recently got hooked on to your channel probably like 2 weeks ago. So I've been tuned in, and the content is definitely needed. I drive rigs. I do a hazmat tanker. Right now I'm actually signed on to a company or leased on to a company. But I have to be honest, I didn't know my cost per mile till I started watching your channel. Now I heard it. I've heard people talk about it, but it just was something that I never really thought about. But when I got to watching your channel, I went on ahead and put the numbers in, and I can finally say that I know my cost per mile at this point.
That's
So
good.
yeah, basically, man, everything that you be talking about, man, is dead on. Like as far as like accepting, like the way you talk about business is really like talking about accepting things as they are, not what you want them to be. You know what I'm saying? So like when you talk about the immigrants coming in and shit like that, you know, a lot of people is upset. I mean, of course, we don't want it, but it ain't nothing we can do about it. They coming. They here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm studying this right now. You know what I'm saying? Already getting ready for it because eventually might have to do some business with some of these people in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, I just touching in, man. I said if I ever got the chance to tap in on the live with you, man, I was gonna tap in. I just so happened right now I'm sitting up here chilling, man. I seen you went live, so I figured I'd touch down real quick. But when I first heard you though, I knew you was from Chicago. I didn't. This is you even said you was from Chicago. I kind of you from the West Side, right?
First half of my childhood was on the west side, then the east side. I went
Okay,
to CVS. I went to CVS for high school. So,
okay. I ain't really too familiar. I'm familiar with Chicago, of course, but I'm not familiar with like all the schools and the nooks and crannies. But I mean, of course, I know my way around Chicago.
hmm yeah. Well, why you think I'm from the west side? Off back.
Cause I heard you say Charlie.
Mm,
I heard you say "Whoa, Charlie" one time, and
yeah.
just the way you talk a little bit, man. You know, I used to work in the casino industry too. So we used to deal to a lot of people from Chicago, and just being in that industry after a while, you can kind of tell the difference between somebody from out west or somebody from the south side. I don't know how.
hmm
After a while, I was able to tell the difference a little bit just by the way they
hmm
dress, demeanor. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? It seemed like cats from out west. I ain't gonna say dudes from the south side ain't fresh, but dudes from out west, they just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more flashy, just a tad bit.
Some
Seem
more
like
money. Some more money out west.
that's what I heard. That's what I heard. But yeah, man, I definitely appreciate it, man. Now this is the question that I have, as far as
Mm.
calculating my cent per mile average. Now, in the variable cost, you plug in your food, your fuel. But the thing is, with the company that I'm with, we get 100% fuel charge.
hmm
So I still like, how would I go about calculating that in? Or
You
do
said
I? Do I?
you a owner operator? I'm sorry, I missed that part. Or you company driver? You owner?
Yeah,
I,
on opera.
so whatever you spend that's not fixed is variable. So if it's not coming out of your pocket, then you don't include it.
Oh,
So okay, your fixed costs are things that don't change from month to month. So if your truck note, your lease, your rental, whatever how you paying for your truck, that's fixed. Your insurance obviously is fixed,
right,
right? If you got a subscription for your law, obviously that's fixed.
right.
Um, your phone bill is fixed, right, for the most part. Um, and whatever other expenses that you have that don't change month to month, then your variable cost is just things that change. So fuel, maintenance, tolls, food, hotels, so on and so forth. So if you pay for it, it goes either fixed or variable. Fixed is things that stay the same. Variables is things that change from month to month. Only input the things that you pay for. So if you're not paying for it, then you don't include it.
Okay. So as far as like, would it be a good way, like if I took an average, for instance, like okay, necessarily every month I'm not spending money on maintenance. You know what I'm saying? But 2 months down the road, I might have to pay for repairs or something like that. So if I take a whole year, would it be safe to take like a whole year of maintenance and
Mm-mm.
repairs and get
You
the average?
you should be doing your cost per mile. you could do it monthly. I tell people who just getting started doing their cost per mile, do it weekly. So to get accustomed to doing it, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to change. Your cost per mile is going to always change. You know what I'm saying? So if you do it this month, then you do it next month, you do it a month after that, you're going to get 3 totally different numbers for the most part. They may be kind of in the same ballpark depending on if something dramatic changed. Like let's say you had a major breakdown and you spent a couple $1,000s, right? But you're not going to get the same number each time. So you should be doing your cost per mile monthly. But I would say if you haven't done it, you should start doing them weekly so you can get accustomed to doing it. Practice makes perfect.
Okay. I guess I'll. I recently started doing that, keeping track of really keeping track of my fuel and stuff like that. But okay, I'm gonna run with that. But yeah, man, once again, like I say, man, I didn't start paying attention to cost per mile, man, until I started watching your channel, man. You kind of putting us in the frying pan for not knowing. So I figure that's a good thing for me to start doing. Especially, when the dispatcher call me and tell me something. I'm figuring I should know these things so I can do my quick calculations to see if it's worth it or not, because I've also heard you say you can end up paying to take a load. And I never thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, we just out here, just a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? We just out here riding, and if the check look right, we running with it. You know what I'm saying? But listening to you, I see how important that cost per mile is. So yeah, man, salute to you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's very important, man. You gotta know what it's costing you to run your business so you know what to accept or what not to accept or what to charge. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know what it costs you to operate, then you'll never know if you're making money or not.
True. Definitely. Shit, man, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, man. I ain't gonna hold you up though, man.
All right, man. Nice talking with you.
All right, for sure.
All right, that's one down. See, it ain't so bad when you call old Marky Mark. You just gotta, you straight up, and you ain't gotta worry about nothing. See, it ain't all so bad. You just gotta keep it a buck. You come up here with the White Russian and showing me bust down Gucci watches and stuff, then I might have to, you dig what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it ain't that bad. Go ahead and hit the linkage. It's pinned to the top of the chat. You know what I mean? Linkage is pinned to the top of the chat. Go ahead and hit the linkage. You understand? So yeah, like he was saying, like I got lingo from both sides because I grew up on both sides. So I grew up throughout my childhood on the west side. That's where all my west side lingo and ism comes from. That's where the ism comes from. And like all my family is still pretty much out west. Like really not a lot of us in my family. Nobody on my father's side live out south. Everybody's out west. And then I got one aunt that stays out south on my mama's side. And then pretty much everybody else is out west. So most of my family is still predominantly out west. But then when we moved to the south side or the southeast side, then that's where, I got that side in me, because then that's when I went to high school. And then I got that little southeast side flavor from. So I got the best of both worlds when it comes to the city. But that west side is, you can tell that west side. South side cats, predominantly south side cats, they ain't got that west side-ism in them. They ain't got it in them. You could tell. Link pin to the top of the chat, though. Let's pin to the top of the chat. You understand what I'm saying? So we got one down. What time is it? We got about another hour and a half. We're going to kick it. Link pin to the top of the chat. See who else we going to get call in. Rich Juice said the Ice Ice Baby was official. You can't front on them. Frederick said, you know the words of that? Heck yeah. When that shit came out, that shit was the shiznit. Everybody started getting down on him when Suge hung him upside down. You know what I'm saying? But nah, bro was hidden. And people like you came in front. People make fun of Hammer, but everybody was listening to Hammer back then. Hammer, I am Hammer. You know you was listening to that please Hammer don't hurt him. You know you was listening to that please Hammer don't hurt him. Hammer, I am Hammer. They put me in the mix. Eminem is better than Vanilla Ice. No offense. Yeah, he's better. But when Vanilla Ice came out, shit, people can front now. But when he came out, listen, he didn't sell all them records. People bought them records. Black people too. So I don't want to hear that. Cass was listening to that Ice Ice Baby. You know how I know Cass was listening to that Ice Ice Baby? Because Ice Ice Baby, for those that remember the box, the jukebox, then it became the box. It was the jukebox first, then it became the box. Ice Ice Baby was playing back to back to back to back to back on the box. So people was calling that shit in, paying that $2.50, $2.75, punching them 3 numbers in to play that video over and over and over and over and over and over again. And guess what? It was black people and Hispanic people doing it because the box, I think it was by region on when you called in and you punched the code to play the video. Like what I would see here, you wouldn't see that down in Florida. So it was people in this region that was calling that shit, and there was black and Latino people. So I don't want to hear that. Y'all know y'all was listening to Vanilla Ice. Y'all was listening to MC Hammer. I don't want to hear that shit. Kelvin Bird said he ordered from the box. So I think I ordered one song from the box. I think it was For the Love of Money. And I don't know why I did it because I literally watched For the Love of Money play about 100 times in a row on the box one night. Literally it went off. Listen, For the Love of Money, Nothing But a G Thing when that came out. For the Love of Money when that came out. Baby Got Back when that came out. That played consistently nonstop. What was that song? That DRS song? See you when I get there with that gangster lean, that DRS song. This is for my homies. That what else? That Mariah Carey, I Had a Vision of Love. That shit used to play back to back to back. What else? I Said Baby Got Back. I said Bone. Bone For the Love of Money probably is the most I ever seen something play consistently. That lit shit must have played 1,000,000 times back to back. I'm surprised the system let it do it. Yeah, those were the memorable ones to me that just would play over and over and over and over again. Kelvin Bird said, yeah, Gangsta Lean. Yep. Maximize Trucking said, seen that play for 2 days straight. Yep, that Bone Thugs and Harmony for the Love of Money. James A said, Mark, you got a good memory. Yeah, certain things from your childhood is just, you just remember. Like, it's like key moments in my childhood that, you know, you just remember. I guess that those are things that you didn't realize at that time you were living in an era that was just a gem, right? And I guess that's why those things are so memorable. You know what I'm saying? Just certain things you just remember. But yeah. Yep. Those were good times. And man, if I could, you know, get a chance to relive some of those moments again, I would, man. I think a lot of people coming up now as teenagers, man, you know, I don't know, they think they having a good, that's probably why they run around here all depressed and shit and all emotional and sad and depressed and all, listen to all this old, what they call it, emo rap. What's that called? Emo rap. What's that short for? Emotional rap? What's emo rap? What's that? That's short for emotional rap? Listen to all that. Oh, what do you call it? You depressed and shit, and you just, whatever, all that depressed shit. I don't know what you depressed for. You ain't even lived. You ain't even lived long enough. Shit. California Love, Tupac, Gangster Party. Jonathan said, I tried a White Russian the other night after watching as I was curious, no longer curious. Yeah, to me, like, I can't drink milk, so I couldn't try it even if I wanted because I'm lactose. But just to think, mixing, and I heard who was that said had a lyric back in the day. It said it's like drinking vodka and milk. Was that Nas or was that Mobb Deep? How did that lyric go? It's like drinking vodka and milk. Was that Nas or Mobb Deep? But yeah, like when I heard it in a lyric back in the day, I thought, I didn't know that was a real thing. That's why when he said, "What's that, Nas?" It's like mixing vodka and milk. What song was that? But yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. But yeah, man, that's woo, boy. You gotta have a stomach on you, boy. You gotta have a stomach on you, boy. Ooh. Vodka and milk? See, I came off the vodka like years ago. I switched over to the tequila, which now tequila, because I'm not a drinker. I only drink like if I'm out at a club or a bar, you know what I'm saying? So I'll drink to get the edge off of me. I have a drink or two, but like I'm not the type of person to drink, just sit around the house and have a cocktail type shit. So if I don't go out for like 6 months to like a club or a bar, then I won't have a drink. Even if I go out to dinners, like I can go out to dinner with my chick and just drink water. I don't have to have a drink. So, when I go out, like I went out the other night, Wednesday night, I had 2 drinks, and I think the bartender bought us a drink because I knew the bartender because we went to high school together. So I think I had maybe 3 drinks and a shot. And after the second drink, I was probably after the first drink and a half, I was toasted, bro. For real. That's why I didn't even do no stream Friday. I was out of it. I was recovering all day. I jumped in the Discord for a hot second and jumped out of it. So vodka and milk? Like vodka, I had to get off vodka back in the day because, man, Grey Goose was my drink. That shit was just messing me up. Daniel said, "Was survival of the fittest?" That's what their lyric on? It's like drinking vodka and milk. What is that? That's survival of the fittest queued up. Do I got survival of the fittest? Only the strong survive. Hold on a second. I ain't got survival of the fittest queued up. Nope. Thought I had survival of the fittest queued up. We living this to the day that we die. Survival of the fit. Only the strong survive. Yeah, everybody's saying survival of the fittest. Yeah, I don't got it queued up. All my New York people know. All my hip hop peers help me out. Yeah, I played the wrong one. I just say Mobb Deep in my stream deck because I knew I had some Mobb Deep queued up. I just didn't know if it was Survival of the Fittest or Shook Ones. Which one? Survival of the Fittest with Puffy was in the video dancing at the end, right? Oh, my head's a no. Was that the one Puffy was in the video at the end dancing? Only pina coladas when you out with the wife, Mark. Man, pina coladas, you drink pina coladas when you out the country, bro. You sitting on a beach. Listen, if I'm out and I don't want to get blasted, I just want to get that little loose, get that little oil in me. You dig what I'm saying? Because I know when I get back to the crib, I'll get that little oil in me. You feel what I'm saying? I get a mojito. If I don't want to like really get, I just want that little You see what I'm saying? I get a mojito. That's like my little punk drink. That's my punk drink, mojito. I can't do damn, what's that shit I used to get back in the day? Like when I first started kicking it, like first started clubbing, like back in late 90s, early 2000s. What shit was that? What's that shit that'll mess you up? But everybody get that's like a little starter drink. What's that shit called? That damn, what's that shit called? The ice, uh come on now. Somebody help me out. What's that little starter drink that you get? That all the chicks get, and you get like when you don't know what to order to drink when you first start kicking. Long Island. The Long Island. See, I can't drink that. That Long Island will mess me up. That Long Island will fuck you up. That shit'll creep up on you. That Long Island gonna creep up on you, pimp. Woo, that Long Island gonna creep up on you, pimp. Yeah. You drink you a Long Island, you think you straight. You think you straight. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. That Long Island gonna creep up on your ass. No sirree, Bob. Yeah, buddy. No, I don't fuck with them Long Islands, boy. I ain't fuck with them Long Islands in years. So now my little punk drink is that mojito with that mint in it. I get that mint mojito, and I'll be straight. Just get the little oil in me, get the little edge off. You feel what I'm saying? Cause you know when I get back to the crib, I might have to go on you there. What I'm saying. So yeah, you know, my drink of choice now. If you catch me out and you want to send me a drink, you feel what I'm saying? My drink of choice is that Don Julio and Neo, or like you already know, you know that 19. Some of y'all know. Some of y'all done kicked it with 1942. You feel what I'm saying? That Don Julio 1942. Yeah, I can't do that Long Island, bro. The older I get, it's just certain drinks I can't do. Long Island, nah, no. So that mojito will get you right. Yeah, mojito just get me. It's just it's just get that little in me. That's all I need, and I'm straight. You feel me? I'm straight. Link pinned to the top of the chat though. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Kelvin said down here in Texas we do chopped and screwed. Kelvin, you live in Texas. You ain't from Texas. Don't you forget where you from, sir. Don't forget where you from, sir. Wait. Y'all saying I was playing the right song? Was I playing the right song? Or was I not playing the right song? I know it's on one of the Mobb Deep songs, either Shook Ones or Survival of the Fittest. Hold on, bro. Let's look at the lyrics. Mobb Deep, Shook Ones, lyrics. Cause ever since Buddy Ass came on the show, I'm like, bro, what? I heard about Vodka and Milk in one of the songs. What song is that? Verse 2. For every time I write, it's about a life. Yo, it's a must. Yo, it's a must. No time for hesitate, only the incarceration, you know what I mean? Queen Prison, we don't play. Got time for petty things, something bigger than. So, live on my I'm sipping E&J, got my mind flipping, I'm bugging, digging my ways out of holes, hustling. All right, man, hold on. Where is survival of Yo, I want to see the lyrics, fool. God damn it. All right, here we go. Going out outside, no man to say from. To walking with your head down, scared to look, shook. There ain't no such things as halfway crooks. I go around with my being the Vietnam. Oh How to write, get ready. Skin the stick. Not home puffing loud, relaxing. New York got a nigga depressed, so I wear slug proof underneath my guess. To the drummer, Bill. Put us together. It's like Vixen, vodka, and milk. There you go. Y'all was right. Survival of the fittest. Damn, I ain't got that shit queued up. I gotta play that shit, bro. Hold on. We just gonna get a copyright, bro. We gonna get a copyright today, buddy. Yes, sir. I gotta hear that. We gotta play that after Buddy, man. We gotta play this after Buddy.
Yeah. Sending this one out to my man Killer B.
Hold on. I wanna get it. I wanna play it. That's the official audio. Where's the video? Mobb Deep ain't got the video on their page. I wanna get them the credit. That's dedicated to Talk to Me Nice. We're gonna take a copyright. For Talk to Me Nice. Talk to Me Nice. If you watching, that was for you. We appreciate you. Talk to Me Nice. Talk to Me Nice, Cuddy. Kevin Burch said Cream Wu-Tang. Cream Wu-Tang was one of my cuts. It was one of my cuts. Man, he said asking as a New Yorker. What did he ask? That's terror hip hop? Listen. If you listen to Mobb Deep back in the day, you paid attention to Mobb Deep's lyrics, you would have swore they killed half of New York. Like everything was kill. You would have sworn just by listening to Mobb Deep, they killed half of New York back in the 90s. So you call it terror rap, whatever. But man, they killed a lot of people in their raps. They killed a lot of people in their raps. Trucking with Joker says, those are my two favorite Mobb Deep songs, Shook Ones and Survival of the Fittest. Yep, those are two of my top five. I like Mobb Deep's second album, Hell on Earth. I like that album a lot. There was a few cuts off of Hell on Earth that I really like. Yeah, man, that's that 90s. That's that gutter, dirty New York hip hop. That's that dirty New York hip hop. New York ain't gonna never get that type of hip hop no more. That dirty New York, gritty subway, filthy, Timberland wearing, army fatigue. Yeah, that was the era, man. If you missed that era, listen. If you miss 90s hip hop and 80s pop, if you miss Michael Jackson in the 80s, you just missed the era. And I apologize. Listen, I'm apologizing. I don't know who I'm apologizing for, but if you missed the 80s and you missed just the Michael Jackson era, if you missed living through it, not this shit that you see on YouTube when you see clips of like people from all different countries, just Michael Jackson just come on stage and just stand there and just people would just be dying and shit. It's cool to see that shit, but you had to live through that shit. You had to live through that. So if you missed that era, you didn't get a chance to live through that era, I apologize. Because you missed an era. You missed the Thriller era. See, back in the day, this shit now, how music comes out, like you got to keep putting out music because like it only lives for like a few days or a week. Listen, Thriller came out in what, 83? Mike toured off of Thriller for 5 fucking years, bro. Michael did, how many world tours did he do? I think he even did more when Bad came out. So from 83 to 88 when Bad came out, Michael Jackson was rolling. Yes, they did the Victory thing in 84, and then he had some time off because he got burned in the Pepsi commercial, but Mike was touring. When Bad came out, that's when the real touring, that's when you start to see the people really go crazy. When Bad came out, I think Mike toured the world like 3 or 4 times between 88 and 91 from Bad to Dangerous. And Mike was the man. Mike was the man. So you missed it. You missed a hell of an era. You missed a hell of an era. You missed a hell of an era. So I apologize. I apologize. Now, coming into the 90s, Mike was still dominating. Dangerous came out in 91, right? Plus, we had the other Mike. We had the other Mike, too, the other MJ. You can't forget about the other MJ. You thought I was not going to miss that? Listen, you had MJ and MJ. Remember the Jam? What's that, Jam? So you missed the Michael Jordan era. You missed the Michael Jackson era. Both together. You missed the 80s. You missed the 90s. Then we got to like halfway through the 90s. You know what we was doing. We was just running up the trophies here. Don't even worry about what we had going on here with them trophies. All right. Don't worry about that. But just everything else that was going on as far as like just this hip hop, man. Just the music, man. The 90s hip hop, the Bad Boy era, the whole Wu-Tang, just Mobb Deep, Nas. Man, I was into real underground hip hop. I was listening to like Kool G Rap, Smooth the Hustler, Trigger, J. Rue the Damager. Like I was into real gutter hip hop. I listened to like not just Wu-Tang. I was listening to Gravediggers, Killer Army, Sons of Man. Man, I was a real head. Obviously Biggie, right? Obviously Pac, but I was a real head, you know what I'm saying? I was a real head. Black Sheep. I wasn't really a big fan of Black Sheep. But towards the later 90s, I started listening to obviously Talib Kweli and Mos Def, that album that they had together. OC, Jules. What else? What else, man? I was ahead. Obviously that first component, Noriega. Top of New York. Obviously a lot of Death Row, Your Dog Pound. That Dog Pound first album with Let's Play House and New York. Obviously Snoop, right? Everybody listen to Doggy Style. Obviously The Chronic. Obviously Pac. Trying to think some things, some highlight things that stood out that you might have not thought I listened to. I'm just taking you through my high school years. This is the shit that got me through high school. These artists and some of these songs that I mentioned, this is shit that got me through high school. Yeah. That Fugees, the Score album, that was a hit. Compared to the album they had before that, when they came out with the Score, I didn't expect them to do what they did. They did it. What else? Man, I gotta go through my I still got all that shit down in my OG's crib in the basement somewhere. All my tapes, all them early CDs. Man, I had the first Bloods and Crips banging on wax. I had that first Bloods and Crips album with Pyru Love and Steady Crippin'. I had that Steady Crippin' and that Pyru Love. That was something that got played on the box a lot, back to back. Pyru Love used to get played back to back. And when Steady Crippin' came out, I think the radio version was called Steady Dippin'. When that came out, that shit got played back to back. MC8. Yep, MC8. I got one for you. Drew Down, Pimp of the Year. That, listen, I was fucking with Drew Down. Pimp of the Year. Pimp of the Year. Here go another one. Spice One, 187 proof. When Spice One came out with 187 proof, I was messing with 187 proof. No, some of y'all like, what the hell is he talking about? Y'all probably don't know none of these. Some of y'all young bucks, y'all ain't hip. Y'all ain't hip. You know what I'm saying? You missed it. You missed that shit. The Loonies, I got 5 on it. Yes, that was definitely one of the ones that just played and played and played. Outkast, Southern Playalistic, when that came out, that was the shit. You know what crazy about Outkast? I think their first album, it was good. It got overlooked, and the reason why it got overlooked out because they dropped that album right when Dr. Dre dropped Nothing But a G Thing, and I think Southern Playalistic got kind of overshadowed by Nothing But a G Thing, because Nothing But a G Thing dropped around the same time as Southern Playalistic, and then when the album came out, it was just curtains. And that Chronic album, that shit ran from a year, like a year and a half, until Doggy Style came out, and then Doggy Style just took it from there. Cypress Hill, yes sir. Here is something you can't understand. Listen, at Cypress Hill, when that shit came out in what, like 92, Killer Man, man, please. All the Mexicans was playing that shit. All the Mexicans, like all the Mexicans, all the Mexicans. This is back when cats had the hydraulics and shit. They had the Geo Trackers. The Geo Trackers with the switches, and then they had the little pickup trucks with the back part. They could make the back part, the bed part, go up and down. They had the Geo Trackers with the 13-inch Daytons with the Vogues. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know about that, man. Some of y'all ain't gonna know what we talking about right now. Y'all ain't, y'all don't know about the Daytons. Y'all don't know about the 30s and Vogues. You see what I'm saying? You dig? He said, I remember all that when the bricks was still up. You talking about the buildings? He said Onyx. Didn't forget Onyx. Didn't forget Onyx, sir. Didn't forget Onyx. South Suicide Queens. Gather all your own. What was that song I used to really bump? Onyx. Was it We Living in This? What was the name of that song? Onyx. We Living in This, I think it was called. Let me see. What was the name of that song? What was this? Last Days, I think it was. It was Last Days. Yeah. Yeah, it was this. This is my favorite Onyx song. That was the cut that I used to listen to off from Onyx. Yep, Onyx. Yep. A lot of hip hop. EPMD. Listen to EPMD. Redman, obviously Keith Murray. Rich Juice said Leaders of the New School. Wasn't really a big fan of Leaders of the New School. I like Busta when he broke away from Leaders of the New School. Busta as a solo artist, cool. I really wasn't a fan of Leaders of the New School. I wasn't really, and this might mess some of y'all up, some of y'all heads. I wasn't really a big fan of De La Soul. I wasn't a fan of De La Soul. I wasn't even a fan of Tribe Called Quest. I really didn't care for Tribe Called Quest or De La Soul. And I know I don't even understand how now, but back then I just really wasn't a fan of them. I wasn't a fan of them. I don't know. Criss Cross, obviously Criss Cross, when Criss Cross came out in 1991, I was 11. So of course I was jumping. The Mac Dad'll make you jump. The Daddy Mac'll make you Yeah, I was listening to Criss Cross. I was listening to Another Bad Creation. Yep, I was listening to Criss Cross. Criss Cross was shit. You know, Criss Cross, they toured with Michael Jackson. They opened for Michael Jackson on the Dangerous tour? Criss Cross, didn't they open for Michael Jackson? Yeah, they opened for Michael Jackson on the Dangerous tour. Yep, Criss Cross. Yep. Who else? Link pin to the top of the chat. I mean, we can reminisce, but man, let's see if we can get one more call up here. See if we can get one more call up here. I used to like Criss Cross so much because they said nigga. They ain't cursed, but they said nigga. And that was kind of like back then in 91 because the only kid group that was before them that wasn't rapping was the Boys. For those that remember the Boys, but they was like an R&B group. So did Illegal come before? I think Illegal came after Criss Cross. Right, Illegal came. Did Illegal come? Yeah, Illegal came after Criss Cross. So they made it came out at the same time. So to hear these little kids say, nigga, I was like, whoa, this is the coolest shit ever. Mom, I gotta get this Criss Cross, please. We went to Coconuts. I had to take me to Coconuts. When we went to the mall, it was a music store. You had Music Land, you had Coconuts, you had Sam Goody. Those were the ball stores, and then you had like Tower Records were like flagships, standalone Tower Records and Virgin Music. But in the malls, you had Coconuts and like Music Land. I begged my OG to get me that Criss Cross, that jump. Yeah, I had that shit on replay. Warehouse Music. All right, man. Somebody gonna call up, or do we gotta keep reminiscing on the 90s, man? I want to talk about some trucks. Jonathan checking in with T-Force tomorrow. Okay. I remember trying to wear my clothes back like Criss Cross. I definitely wore my clothes backward. Metro said, but in the house, so I never wore them outside. Too Short. My first Too Short album was Short Dogs in the House. Changed my life forever. I couldn't believe. Listen, I don't think my OG knew what she bought me. I was watching the box and I heard The Ghetto. I seen that ghetto vid. The Ghetto. Doom, 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 doom. I said, okay, I gotta get this. Next time we went to the mall, I pulled the stunt. She said, boy, what you want? I grabbed that Too Short, that Short Dogs in the House. When I listened to that album, when I tell you it changed my life, the words I heard, I had never heard such profane language before. Changed my life. I don't think my OG knew what she bought me when she bought me that first Too Short. That Short Dogs in the House. That made me want to go do a little bit more research. Wait a minute, he had an album before this? Man, I heard Freaky Tales. When I heard these are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the tales that I tell so well. I met this girl. Come on, man. Come on, man. Man, I might start me a hip hop channel, man. Listen, I might start me a hip hop channel. Listen, Eazy-E. Come on now. Come on now. Easier said than done. My name is Easy. Yeah, this is true. Keeping your attention is what I came to do. Come on now. Of course we was listening to Easy. We want Easy. Are there any more questions? Are there any more questions? I wasn't a big fan of Cube, man. I didn't care for Cube. I didn't start caring for Cube until later, man. I like I Ain't the One on the Express Yourself album because I drove a Benz 190. like I Ain't the One. But I really wasn't a fan of Cube like that. I was a fan of Dre. Obviously, I was a fan of E. I mean, you could not be a fan of Easy. I was listening to Real Compton City G's the other day. I was in the gym working out, listening to Real Compton City G's. I was driving a Conversion big boy van, black back then, real talk. You had the Conversion, you had the Big Express, or the Astro van. The Astro van was the shit back in the day. Dizzy GMC says, how many box trucks do you have and is it still hard to manage? Dizzy must be new to the channel. I'm retired, Dizzy. I sold all my trucks except for 2. I still have 2 trucks that just sit. I go up to the yard sometimes and I'll sit in them and just sit there and reminisce, and then I'll pay the bill. Well, I pay the bill online, but I'll sit there, talk shit, rev the engine in one of them. The other one, I got to put a battery in that other one. And then I'll bring my ass back home. But no, I'm out. I'm retired. I've been out for 2 years. Sir. Listen, when everybody was getting in, I was getting out. When everybody was getting in, I was getting out. All right? Why? Because when people are greedy, you should be fearful. When people are fearful, you should be greedy. Now, obviously, if you just got in a year or 2 prior, you wasn't getting out. Right. But I had been in, I had made my money. I made a lot of money on the exit because, it was a lot of people coming in that didn't know no better. It was buying a lot of trucks that was overpriced. I was definitely taking advantage of a lot of people coming in. Hey. Because guess what? Everything that I said when I first started making YouTube content that was going to happen, now here 2 years later, that's why a lot of people come up on the show. They say, man, Mark, when I first started watching you, I didn't like you. Because everything you was saying was shit I didn't want to hear. You were negative, but I realized you weren't negative. You was just telling the truth. You just could read the room better than everybody else because you have been doing this for a while. Oh, yeah, I took the money and ran. Ooh, it was, people didn't understand it then, but they understand it now. You see what I'm saying? So I surely did. I kept me a few trucks just in case. But yeah. I sold all of them except 2. Originally I sold all of them except 3, but then I recently sold a 3rd one last January. So now I got 2. I got out. In 2022. My exit was 2025 anyway. The pandemic just gave me an opportunity to get out a few years earlier. If I would have stayed in, I'd be fucked right now. Listen, when I tell you I'd be screwed, if I would have not did what I did in 2022, I would be screwed. Not screwed like how a lot of people are screwed now. Screwed, whereas I would have all that equipment, nobody wants to work, and I would be kicking myself because I had an opportunity knowing that I could have sold my equipment in 2021, 2022 for an exorbitant amount of money at an appreciated value. I could sell depreciating assets and an appreciated value, which never happens, and I didn't take the opportunity. So right now I would have all that equipment that I still wouldn't be able to sell because no one has any money now. Nobody to work this shit. I'd probably be running 2 or 3 trucks if most, and I'd just be sitting, and I would be mad, and I'd be upset, and I'd be paying insurance on all of them. And the cost to maintain just trucks that are just sitting. So, yes. I'm not selling the other 2 trucks. I'm going to sit on them and go to the yard every now and then, continue to pay the insurance on them, continue to pay to store them, just so I can go there whenever I feel like having that nostalgia like I do. I'll go there and I sit in there and I think. Sometimes I go live and I just sit there. And then last week I went in there in the yard, I just hit the thing, hit the back wall. Rammed the engine and just sat there and just told some stories. Then I came home. So that feeling that I had, I cured that feeling. I'm not selling them trucks because one of them is the first truck I ever bought. I'm not selling that. That truck that's an heirloom. That's an heirloom. I'm going to continue to spend money on that truck just for it to sit. And then the other truck is the third truck I ever bought. Right. Every now and again, I'll drive that truck and go, take a little load or something just to get that little feeling, film it, you know what I'm saying, and upload it, you know what I'm saying. But I ain't selling them trucks. I ain't selling them. Them trucks gonna sit and just sit. So, yeah, man. Stop marking and keep working. What is it? Thank you for all info. No prob. Right now, $60K, I would invest into something else. Actually, I probably would sit on it, to be honest with you. If things go the way I think they're going to go, even investing right now probably is not a good idea. If you already in, then yeah. But if things go the way I think they're going to go, I think a lot of the assets at whatever the price they are now, I think probably within the next 6 to 8 months are going to be a lot lower. That's my theory. I don't, No Vaseline definitely was a good diss. Q was the glue because he was writing. You are right. I just didn't. I mean, he wasn't the popular guy, Back then, Easy had the flavor, and Dre was in the forefront because he was making the beat. So, Too Short did a small desk performance with Tiny Desk. I gotta catch that. Kobe said he still remember Freaky Tales. Yeah, I might bump that later on today. Naughty by Nature, Uptown Anthem, or Crazy. Naughty by Nature, when they came out with that Hip Hop Array in '93, yeah, that definitely was back to back on the box. Jonathan, sound like you got a lot of questions. You need to hit the link. Vonnie EC said, can't forget about the '90s Chicago scene. So it was an underground rapper that I was up on back in the '90s. I don't know if you were up on underground rap, Vonnie. EC Illa. I was real. I don't want to say I was deep into the underground scene here, but I used to go up to Gramophone up north on Clark Street, and I used to try to find underground Chicago rap, and then I found EC Illa, and I used to listen to a lot of EC Illa. Obviously your psychodramas, you know what I'm saying? Your psychodrama, you did what I said, do what you want to do. Matt, we got somebody. What we got here? You look familiar. Let's see. I think I'm ready to get my pimp on. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Mark?
What's the deal?
Yeah, I'm basically trying to start a 16-foot box truck business. Got about, let's say, $8,000. Just need a little advice. I've been following you for a little minute. I got all my trucking stuff lined up too, far as the LLC, the business. The only thing I'm missing is the insurance. But I'm only trying to do a small box truck, 16-foot box truck, local, pull some local contracts like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All right. So what you need?
Just a little advice. So here's a little background. Not to put my business out there, but I'm an overnight manager at Lowe's, so I know how the logistics runs with the box trucks and the flatbed trucks. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to get into the box truck side. Then I was talking to one of my ASMs, and they're saying that Lowe's is about to lose the contract with XPO, so they're basically looking for more drivers. But
Lowe's doesn't just deal with XPO. They deal with XPO. They deal with UST. I mean, not UST. Yeah, they deal with UST. They deal with XPO. They deal with a few different companies. They deal with One Rail. You talking about for the appliances?
Yeah, for the appliances.
Okay. But see, here's the thing: you're not gonna be able to get that contract in a 16-footer. That's a 26-foot thing.
26-footer. So that's kind of one of my questions too. Do you think I need to go 26-footer right off the rip, or 16-footer for a little small business and then scale it up to a 26-footer?
Where you located?
Houston, Texas.
Who's gonna be on the truck?
Shit, I was gonna drive it. I'll be honest with you. I put in the hard work. So, to build a lot of shit that I got, you know what I'm saying? I put in a lot of hard work.
So you gonna leave Lowe's?
Well, I work overnight. I'm the overnight. Well, if the money's good, yeah, of course.
So you work overnight at Lowe's?
Yeah.
So when you gonna sleep?
No. That's what I'm saying. I'll potentially leave Lowe's if the daytime Lowe's are good. You know what I'm saying? I won't work overnight in the daytime.
So how much are you making at Lowe's overnight? I just gonna keep it a buck with you.
About $4,000.
How much a year?
Month. About 50.
And you want to start a 16-foot box truck. So you take a 16-foot box truck, you only going to be able to do local work, right? Small final mile, which is like not even appliances. You'll be able to do like some small, maybe
partial boxes. Yeah, partial loads. And
you could do. No, not partial. We're not talking about OTR stuff. We're not talking about pulling off the load board. We're talking about final mile. I mean, you're not gonna have the capacity. A 16-foot truck, you could do it, but it's not gonna be worth it. The type of capacity you need to really make money, you don't have that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't really see nobody talking about it in a 16-foot box truck. I mean, you can do it, but I'm telling you, it's not worth it. So with a 16-foot box truck, you could do some final mile stuff, right? Some fitness equipment pays pretty good. That's what you can do in a 16-foot box truck. You can also do like bulk office supply, right? Yep. Now, depending on what the volume looks like down there in that market, you could do like Staples and Office Depot, right? I don't know if Capstone has that mail contract down there, but if that's down there, that's a possibility.
Okay. And then I was also thinking about this, keeping an overnight gig, buying a 16-footer, and do what you were saying. I was listening to you. You can scale about 3 good little local moving business, trash, junk removal, and just let somebody drive the truck in the daytime and pay them to do that in the daytime and still keep my overnight.
You got to build it. You're not going to be able to just see, like people say, oh, just get a truck and then put a driver in it. It's not that simple. You got to build a business. I didn't come off the truck. It took me 3 years to come off the truck, and then I was running 3 trucks. Okay. So 3 years, 3 trucks, and then I came off and then focused on the business from behind the scenes, and then that's when things start to grow at a more rapid pace. But I was out there for 3 years. The first 3 years I was out there. I had to learn the business.
You had to learn the business. Right.
I had to learn the business. So I wouldn't have been able to scale the business from behind the scenes if I didn't know what the business consisted of. I had to be out there in the field, so in order to train people, I got to know what to train them on. So even with a moving business, I had to get trained. I had to hire somebody that was more knowledgeable on moving than me and pay them to train me to work for me. Right. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah. I've done it before too. I've done it before. So what I want to do, Mark, I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know, is your Cash App in the bottom or something? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna probably link up with you because I know you're running the show right now. I had a couple more questions, but I'm willing to pay for the advice that I need.
Yeah, I don't do any coaching or mentorship. So
you don't? Okay, all right.
It's like you gotta catch me when you catch me on live, or you gotta come in the Discord. Come in the Discord. We be in the Discord all day throughout the day. It's always somebody in you know, it's different channels in the Discord. So you can ask your questions there, but then it's like a voice room where people be on camera or just voice. You can just hear them talking in like one of the voice rooms. There's people in
Right.
there. So even if I'm not in there, there's other people in there, but I'm in and out throughout the day. You know,
Okay.
so you know, some days I'm in the voice. We just be cooking up all day. I'll be in there. Some days I'll be in and out. But that's where you can catch me. Like you're gonna catch me in there at some point in the day. I'm gonna be in there. And if I'm not in there, something you need, there's people in there that know how to get in touch with me. That if I see them ping me, then I'll come right in, regardless of what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
But those people are in there. So, but as far as booking me for like a one-on-one, I don't do it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You know, I just want to tell you, man, I appreciate you for what you're doing, man. You know, you really opening people's eyes, man, to, you know, you don't have to work for somebody all your life. You know what I'm saying? It's a tool. You know, work there, save your money, and invest it into what you want to do. You know, and what I've noticed by working there and just knowing that this world really don't move without trucks. You know what I'm saying? If the truck stops, the world kind of stops. You know what I'm saying? And you kind of got to get into that if you really want to see some real money. There's other ways to make money too, but
So it's a lot of ways to make money. It's a
yeah,
lot of ways to make money. But ain't nothing wrong with working either.
no,
I don't like say I know that's the whole narrative that's being pushed, but you know, there's nothing wrong with working. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Entrepreneurship ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. If it was, then everybody would be an entrepreneur. But then guess what? Then there would be no laborers, right? There's a reason
right,
why majority people that start a business fail, and that scale of people who succeed and fail is not close. It's like this. There's more people that fail by a landslide than people that succeed. You must have got a phone call, big dog. But you got me on the line now, so if it's something that you want to talk about, you got me now.
all right. So check this out. First question I want to ask you was, how did you start? Your first start? Did you start with a 26 footer or a 16 footer? Did you start with contracts or did you start with moving?
I started with a 2002 Chevy Avalanche Z66.
With
That's
a
how I
trailer
first
on the back.
started. No,
Right.
no, I didn't. No trailer.
No, no
I
trailer.
started with a 2002 Chevy Avalanche Z66
Okay.
with no trailer.
Wow. And then your your second truck was a 16 footer, or you went straight to 26?
I did that for about a year, and then I rented a 16-foot Penske truck.
Mm-hmm.
Then I rented another one, then another one, and then it just kept going. I
So
started.
so basically, for the first 3 years, you were straight. What we say is hustling.
First 3 years, I was hustling. I did a whole live stream on my whole beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should go watch it. So it had a lot of pictures and just, you know, I showed my trucks, my warehouse, my office. So, and I told a story, but first 3 years was hustling. I had to get licensed because I was running my moving company like a real company. Like it was like a real company, real professional website, had an 800 number, all that shit. I wasn't licensed. And I had to go get licensed because I got caught in the sting running a unlicensed moving company. So once that happened, I mean, it happens. It's more unlicensed companies than it is licensed companies. You know what I'm saying? But when I got caught in that, that forced me to go get licensed. So then I went and got licensed, and then I got an opportunity with a company. They called me because they were looking at moving companies to help them with an account, which was a final mile account that they were struggling with. And that opened me up into the trucking side, which is the final mile delivery side. And then I started a trucking company too. So I had a
So
moving company and a trucking company simultaneously, side by side.
so my next question is, I want you to speak on how important credit is.
So here's the thing, and I'm keeping it funky with you. I never really used credit, bro.
Okay.
I think if I would have used credit, let's say if I would have had decent credit when I first got started, and I would have followed the shit that I hear a lot of people talking on the YouTube and Instagram talking about, I would have been messed up.
Yeah.
Well, because I you see, here's the thing, because I built everything from what I utilized what I had, and I worked
Right.
my way up. So utilizing what I had, I really didn't have much overhead at all, to
Right.
be honest with you,
Right.
because I was utilizing what I had, and because I was utilizing what I had, I was targeting a specific demographic that wasn't really concerned about things that licensed and more premium companies that charge premium rates charge. So I didn't have to worry about damaging anything or none of that shit. So it was pretty much my fuel and my labor costs, and that was it. So I was able to save a substantial amount of money. And then when I started renting a truck, I was able to charge more, right? I went from what I was charging with my pickup truck to more, right? Because I was renting a truck, but I was able to do a lot more work because I didn't have to pay Tetris like I had to pay in the back of that Avalanche, right? So, so I'm able to do 3-4 moves a day now at $75 an hour, right? And that was able me to save more money. You know, I have one more additional cost, which is the rental and the insurance, but I'm still under the table. You know what I'm saying? So I'm running 2 now and I'm running 3. But you got to remember, we're talking about 2010, 2011, 2012. So the trucks that I'm running for moving, I'm paying the driver $12, $13 an hour. I'm paying the helper $10 an hour. So I'm paying $23 an hour for labor, and I'm charging the customers $75 an hour. So I'm making $48 an hour off the labor for each job for every move, plus whatever I was charging for the truck fee. So I'm making a shit ton of money because my costs aren't as exorbitant as they would be now. Labor costs are cheap. $75 an hour is cheap now, but you got people charging cheaper than that now. But back then, that was the going rate. You see what I'm saying? So by the time it was time for me to go get licensed, like I had a bag.
Yeah.
So when I went and bought my first truck, I paid cash. It wasn't nothing. It was $7,900. That was nothing. I just went in there and wrote them a check. I got 3 trucks moving, doing 3 moves a day a piece.
Right.
I'm making net $1,800, $2,000 a day. You see what I'm saying? So the money wasn't the issue. I never had to play with credit. So I was just buying trucks cash. The first truck I financed was the 4th truck I bought. So I had business credit because I'm licensed at this point, moving company, trucking company. But as far as credit to fund my business, I got $50,000. Like I never even inquired at the beginning for that because I came in with money. So, and I think that was also a huge key to me being able to sustain because I used what I had and I worked my way up, right? So if I didn't have it, I couldn't get it.
And it would also pull you into debt. You will be looking at
and pull you into debt
over your head and saying,
right. I think he got a phone call. Yeah. So,
but like I was saying, so that opens you up to say that I don't really have a big overhead because I'm not in a debt because I don't have all this $50,000 truck that I'm steady paying on a month. So, another thing that I heard you say was you started small, but a lot of people think that moves and to make money, you have to go on $1,000 moves, $1,500 moves. But I also heard you say that, you know, I would do $300 moves and try to get 3 of them knocked out, and that shit sticks in my head like that. That type of stuff like that. That's what hustlers do. That's still $900 a day. You subtract gas, you subtract a helper, but of course you're not going to get it on the daily until you scale the business to you where you wanted it. But still, $900
Well,
a day is damn good.
well, nah. See, so you gotta understand. Back then in 2010, what was going on? What was going on back then?
2010. Catch me up.
The housing market crash.
Oh yeah.
So you got to remember it happened 2008, but people weren't getting necessarily kicked out of their house in 2008. You saw a flurry of people really starting to get kicked out and leave their home. You started to see a lot of abandoned, well, at least here in mid to late 2009. That process took some time, right? So all through 2000, and not everybody felt it right away in 2008. Some people it hit them in 2009. So 2010, when I came in, was a lot of people losing homes. So
Right.
we was just, so from the moment I put up the first Craigslist ad, like literally 5 minutes later, my phone rang and it never stopped ringing. And I say that it sounds cool, but I swear for God, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On everything I love, you see what I'm saying? That it rang and it never stopped ringing. But it was because of the time. I'm not going to front like I just, got the magic. Business about timing. I came in at the right time, so I'm not finna flex my Smitty like I'm just some magical person. No, I was in the right place at the right time, but no, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this shit. I was fucked up. I didn't have no money. I was on Craigslist to list my CD burner. I had a 7-drawer CD burner. I was going to list it to sell so somebody could come by and make some money. And I saw an ad up. Guy with pickup truck would do small moves and deliveries. I'm like, well, shit, I got to pay for that. I didn't expect nobody. So I don't want you to think that I was just this magical guy that just, no, it wasn't nothing like that. I got lucky.
But no, that's good, because that's also what you were saying. You go back after 2010, back to COVID. I was listening to your podcast, what you were saying about COVID and how so many people fail, and you were able to sell equipment that you bought and make a profit off of it because it was so bad. And and everybody was looking for trucks, and everybody was looking for it. And what did you say? When people are greedy,
when people are greedy, you should be fearful. When people are fearful, you should be greedy.
Right. So that worked really good for you at COVID time too, because you had a lot of people moving and financial things going on with people, to where that helped your business.
Yeah, it helped me exit. I was exiting anyway, but it gave me an early exit. My exit, if I would have stuck to the original plan of 2025, my exit next year, because 2024 is damn near over, my exit next year would not have been as sweet as it was financially as it was in 2022. If I would have thugged it out and just not followed my gut instinct, not followed my teachings of business and understanding business at that point where I was at when the pandemic hit, and just understanding and being able to read and understanding economics and just trusting that, well, this is going to follow this. You know what I'm saying? I know we're in a bubble, and I know money is being printed, and I know this is going to follow this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe now is the time to exit. I can sell off my equipment for more than I purchased it for over 10 years ago, after we done beat the shit to shit, put hundreds of thousands of miles on it. That never happens. You can't. When have you ever known you can buy a vehicle and sell it for more than you purchased it for 10 plus years later? That never happens. Right? So, I had to take a chance, and I kept some vehicles as an insurance. I'm not stupid. Right. So, and I still have 2 of those vehicles that I'm obviously I'm not coming back into the business. But yeah, I just followed the just basic business practices, understanding economics. And I knew that where we are now, it was going to be here, because if you go back and look at the old content, I said it. So it's just understanding business. That's all.
So another question. What do you think is better, over the road or local contracts?
I'm always gonna say local, but I'm
Me too.
telling you why. I'm in a huge market. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a huge market for freight. I'm in a huge market in general, right? So there's a lot of opportunity for me in this market versus someone who's in middle America who may not have access to what I have access. I think to go OTR and you coming out of Chicago, to me, I mean, it's to each his own, but I think you're crazy. Why would you do that
Right,
when I could
right,
make more
right,
money, more or the same money, and sleep in my own bed at night?
right,
You see what I'm saying?
right.
So, but now if you're not in a market that you don't have access to what like someone who lives here has access to, then you may have no choice but to go OTR. But that's why you gotta understand your market. You gotta do your market analysis. You gotta do your business plan. A lot of people don't do that. They get into business and they think they're gonna stay local, and then they go buy the truck, get everything, and then they go look for work, and then man, Mark, I got my 26-foot box truck, but man, ain't no Amazon. The closest Amazon is 500 miles away. The closest 3PL is 400 miles away. Well, where you live? I live in Boomsfuck, Nebraska. Well, how many people live there? Oh, 8,000? Well, goddamn it! Of course, you ain't got no choice but you either gonna relocate to the nearest town or you forced to go over the road. Well, I don't want to go over the road. Well, that's something you should have known before you went out and bought you didn't do no business plan. You didn't study your market. So you got to know what market you in. You got to decide what you want to do and then start looking into your market to see if those opportunities exist, because you may not have no choice but to go over the road.
Right. And basically what you're saying about that is basically regions. So you got to know what region you're in.
No, you
And
got to know what region and market. So if you want to go over the road, then all right, you're going to go over the road, but then now you got to start looking for where the outbound freight is plentiful, where the money is abundant, where the rates are higher, where the freight is abundant and the rates are paying. Obviously, that's going to be in the Midwest. But then you need to come up with a radius. You need to decide how you're going to run so you can maximize your earning potential. You need to study the market before you come in. You need to make sure that you come in as low as possible. And I say as low as far as your operational cost, because you need to be able to compete, right? So, and that's what a lot of people just don't do. They just run and go do anything, go buy anything because their favorite content creator say, go get a Freightliner, go get this, go get that. But they don't explain this type of shit to them, right? And then they go buy that shit and they get out here and they don't know their cost per mile. They running at a loss. They got all this overhead. And then a guy like me that's training my people this shit over here that they hate, I'm telling my people, listen, come in cheap. Listen, that old truck gonna break down just like that new truck. All right, don't listen to that. Listen, I'm telling you what it takes to win. Go ahead and buy the new truck. You're gonna be complaining like them people over there, the channel that you just came from.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The ain't no cheap freight. Ain't no such thing. What's cheap to them is a profit to you if you come in and your cost is low. You can take what they can't because they did what they weren't supposed to do.
Right.
See, me, if I was coming in running OTR, I'm not finna go get that shit that they getting. See, me, I'm gonna go get that old thing. And when I say old, I'm not talking about 90-something. I'm gonna go find whatever is affordable. I could find a 2015 that's affordable. I could find a 2011 that's affordable. I might find a 2006. If I take my mechanic and he do a diagnosis and he said, man, this is strong. It's a runner. And he tell me it's strong, and they want an 18 piece for it, I'm finna give them 18,000 cash, and I'm gone. Now, my insurance, being a 44-year-old man with a clean MVR and all that shit, with a 2007, 2008, right? My insurance is gonna reflect that, right? So my insurance is on the low though, and I'm finna do what they not finna do. I'm finna burn these miles up. My cost is already low. So now I'm the guy that they saying is taking cheap freight, but I'm taking it at profit. See, me, I ain't sitting somewhere for 3 and 4 days because I'm stubborn or my operational cost is high and this $2 ass bullshit, nigga. I'm running. If my operational cost is low because I made sure it was low before I came in the door, because I'm coming in here to make money. I'm not coming in here to look good. I'm not coming in here to have a new truck. I'm coming in here to run this bag up and send this money to something else that's going to make me even more money. You feel what I'm saying? So if I come in running OTR, I'm going to make a lot of people mad. A lot of people. They're going to be mad.
So that was my next question. Insurance. Talk to the people about insurance. Me as well. Like, was your insurance higher coming in, or gradually over the years did it go down, or did it stay at the same rate? What insurance companies to go for? Not just dive
I've
deep into the
always had a broker. I've never, since day one of me running legal, I've always had a broker. When I came in structured, I talked to other business owners, not in trucking. I had a buddy that owned a liquor store, and I had another buddy. So my buddy owned a liquor store. He referred me to the accounting firm that they use for their liquor stores, and his insurance broker. So from day one of me being legit, I've had the same broker and the same accounting firm all these years. Right. So the broker's job is to collect a profile from you, right? And then shop you on the market. He's shopping you on the market. There's a lot of insurance companies that you don't even know exist. Once he shops you on the market, the proposals come back, and then he or she goes through the proposals to present to you. If you get a broker that's in your best interest, obviously they're going to present to you what's the cheapest and the most affordable, because they understand you're starting off and, you know, you need to keep your operational costs as low as possible, you know. But a lot of brokers that are out here, from just talking to people and looking at people's policies, they're not doing what's in the best interest. So you have to find a broker that's doing what's in the best interest. Like a broker that's working like my broker's working. He's not just taking a Progressive proposal or a Grange proposal and just, okay, Mark, Grain came back the cheapest, this is the best. No, he's looking at the itemized. Okay, Grange is coming back at this, but they're quoting this a year for the general liability, they're quoting this a year for commercial, they're quoting this a year for cargo. Mercury's coming back this, they're quoting this, this, and this, itemized. Progressive's coming back this. So look, okay, bet. So when you look at my core form, even now, you're going to see 3 different companies. Right? Because that's the best. I got Acuity, Mercury, and U.S. National Fire and Liability. Because I still got my authority.
So you say you're getting out of the business. That's what you're saying?
I'm out. I've been out for 2 years.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, why?
We just talked about it 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I missed it.
When other people are greedy, you should be fearful. When people are fearful, you should be greedy. I had already made my money.
Okay.
Listen. You work at Lowe's, right?
Right.
How is finding people to work? Is it easy?
Woo!
How long you been working for Lowe's?
About 5 years.
So you was working there before the pandemic. What was it like hiring prior to the pandemic and now? Is it day and night? Was it a little bit easier? You had people that probably actually coming to inquire about work. Probably more people coming to inquire. And you probably were retaining people for longer. People probably come now and they probably, okay. So when I'm looking at this thing in 2020, around June, July, is when I really had a heart-to-heart with myself. And I'm looking at trucks, and I'm looking at a skeleton crew, and then I'm seeing people flying past me. I'm back on the truck now. Okay. I see people, 30 people popping willies with dirt bikes and shit. I'm like, damn, where are these people getting all this money from? I see in lines down at the Burberry and the Balenciaga store.
I heard that.
Because I wasn't hip. I wasn't hip on the money. I wasn't hip. Somebody had to put me on. So everybody getting money. Ain't nobody coming to work. I'm hearing that, man, this thing could last 3 years. They saying, well, the last time we had a pandemic, it was the influenza pandemic of the 1910s or the 1920s. I went back and researched it. I'm like, damn, this didn't last. So they telling 3 years, 4 years. So I had to come up with a plan. So I said, all right, well, I'm going to work and I'm going to probably have to change my exit, right? I didn't change it right then. I just kept working. Once I realized that the trucks were going for exorbitant prices because the manufacturer wasn't producing new trucks and people were trying to come into this trucking thing and used prices were going through the roof, that's when I said, all right, I'm going to move my exit from 2025 to 2022. I'm going to finish out 2020. I'm going to work all 2021. I'm going to work 2022. I started listing trucks one at a time. One at a time. And I was popping.
I watched it.
Listen. Them bitches was going like this. Listen, it's like I was selling them, like I had them for the 17.5. You dig what I'm saying? It was like I had them for, it was like I had them for the 17.5. You feel what I'm saying? It was like I had that shit. Listen, it was like it was a drought and I was the only supplier. You see what I'm saying? That's how it was. So I said, man, ain't nobody coming back to work. If this thing continues to go on, like, man, I ain't finna sit on all this shit. And then when this shit is over, man, people gonna be used to just conditioned to this shit. You know what I'm saying? I saw the gig economy blow up, which I knew it was gonna get there eventually. And I saw that in 2018. But what the pandemic did was speed up that process.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at all this, and I made that decision. And when I saw people coming in and just stupidly coming into trucking, just dumb, I said, "Oh yeah, this shit a bubble. This shit a bubble, and it's time for me to go." Whenever you see people coming in that had no interest, it's just like we say in the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you see Pookie and Ray Ray, because Pookie and Ray Ray was talking about stocks during the pandemic. Whenever you see people express interest into something that is way beyond their mental fortitude, that means we at the peak. It's time to pull your money and run. This shit about to come crashing down. And everything Man and Folding was getting in, all them bubbles burst. It was because it was so much money. So that's why I got out. If the pandemic wouldn't have happened, I think life would be different right now, and I would have stuck to the original. My exit would have been next year, 2025.
But you know something, Mark, by saying that, that's you're actually telling people something they need to know, because you got some people that will go down with the ship. You understand what I'm saying? They will watch the business go down, and go down with the ship. So at that point, this is what I want to ask you. Another question. You have to know when it's time to sell. So if you're running a, say, your business, your box truck business, your moving business, and somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, Mark, I want to buy your company," but you're saying you're so stubborn at this point because you don't know that I can build another business, and if it's profitable enough for me to sell the whole business and the trucks coming by it. But like I was saying, you got a lot of people that'll go down with the ship. Like, no, I'm not selling shit. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna stay. And they end up losing. So at what point is it on our business levels when somebody offers to buy certain things? I learned this from one of my other friends. He's like, I don't care what you say, everything is for sale, especially when it comes to equipment and stuff like that to work with. So it's always for sale if you got the right amount of money. Even the whole business, if it comes to it, if they got the right amount of money.
Yeah, everything for sale. If you say you want to come by my crib and you offer me the right amount of money, I'm going to tell it to you I'm going to move back in with my mama until the market turn.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's always so you never go down with the ship.
Well, you can't get emotional. You can't get emotional in business. Some people are emotional in business, and if you emotional in business, you're gonna make emotional decisions. So you can't be emotional in business. Like you got to be able to read the room. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like some people, they'll build something and they'll hold on. If I would have been in that point mentally, right, and less experienced, let's say when the pandemic came around, I probably wouldn't need we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation. That the me having that talk with myself on like, all right, man, we gonna have to do this, then that. I wouldn't even thought that. I would have just kept going day by day and just been like, well, my trucks are paid for. They'll just sit, you know what I'm saying? And da 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 da. But nah, you have to make the right moves at the right time. You can't be emotional. Well, this is my baby and da da da. I held on to my baby. The first truck I ever bought, that's the expense that I'm willing to pay and money that I'm willing to waste now that I'm exiting. I'm not gonna hold on to the whole business. If I can exit and sell off all these assets at appreciation, then now is the time to do it. If things would have went the other way, I kept a few trucks and I could build back up. All right, things didn't go back the other way. Still, people don't want to work, right? Opportunity is low. You got more competition. Like in this market, you got people charging $65 an hour for moves now. All right, so as a licensed company, that's not my competition. But if there's an overabundance of people in the market that are consumers that are messed up, they may not be able to afford a licensed mover anymore. So there's less competition. There's less consumers in the cesspool that are looking for a licensed mover that are now going into the underworld. They're going into Craigslist. They're going to the unlicensed guys on Thumbtack.
And so I want you to speak on this real quick, because with the licenses and insurance, have you ever had any problems to where the customer says, oh, this was broken, that was broken, you broke this, you broke that, and then you had to have your insurance to pay for it? Or
Never.
you
Always pay out of
never,
pocket. Never
always
pay.
pay out of
Never had. No.
Okay.
No, you don't, like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. You gotta pay it out of pocket. You can file it. That's why you got a good broker. I didn't know any better. The first claim I got, it was a couple grand. I took it to my broker. He said, Mark, you might want to pay this out of your pocket. I said, why? That's why I got insurance for it. He said, well, with commercial insurance, it's different from like your personal home insurance. Like you file a claim, your premium's gonna go up 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get dropped. So you want to reserve your claims for the big stuff. And big stuff, the first big thing I had was 55 grand. That was the big stuff. So $6,000 out of pocket, $9,000 out of pocket, $4,000 out of pocket. I had a guy tear off a roof, $15,000.
Yeah, and I touched on that because people think this shit is all gravy. They think they're just gonna go in and ain't nothing fucking gonna happen, and they're just gonna make all this goddamn money, and nothing's gonna get broken, nothing's gonna get damaged, nothing. You're not gonna have to pay out of pocket shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, or they might think, oh, that's what the fuck I got insurance for. I'm not paying them shit. I'm gonna let my insurance deal with all that shit.
Commercial insurance is different. You make a claim on commercial insurance for some dumb shit, and I'm not saying it's dumb because I'm saying dumb. Like as a tenured person in the industry, to me, filing a claim for some shit that's 5,000, that's dumb, right? Because now it's finna be rough for you because you ain't got $5,000 cash to pay for whatever your crew fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Or you ain't got no handyman, you know what I'm saying? It's things like, so like, you're gonna have floor claims. See, the floor claims is the things you really gotta worry about. I don't care about walls. I don't care about banisters. That shit is nothing. That's a patch and paint, right? You keep you a handyman on speed dial for shit like that, or you equip each truck. You go to Home Depot or Walmart, you get some spackle, you get a knife, putty knife, and you do a patch right then and there. And then you tell the customer, get the paint, you'll send a guy out. But 9 times out of 10, if you patch it up right then and there, the customer just paint it themselves. You won't have to go back. So, but like floors is always the things that always worry me because that's where you're gonna get the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 estimates from. So, or more, you know, There's people in here that have had $20,000-$25,000 floor claims, but that was because of water damage. I think they did a wash machine and the install might have not went right, and the customer something happened. But like scratches and shit like that, you're not gonna get an estimate to repair a scratch. They're gonna want to come out. They're gonna give an estimate to repair the whole floor. So that's just shit that you just got to pay out of pocket.
Okay. So, basically, really, so I think that I kind of want to scale it down a little bit. 16-footer, start a little small moving business. I'm really, probably get a contract somewhere else. Probably keep my overnight, and look for a good driver or something like that, or might have to drive it in the daytime if the money's good.
You're gonna have to work on that truck, bro. You can't start this type of company and not be on the truck.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know. Any other advice you got?
I don't know. Depends on what your questions. I don't really got advice. I just got answers to questions.
Answer the question. Gotcha. Okay.
I try not
right.
to give too much advice, man, because I don't, people will take your advice, right? You'll give a person advice. Here's what I learned. Yeah. This is why I never did mentorship, because I thought about it, but then once I seen I said, hell no. All right, so you can give a person advice, but if they don't take the advice and apply the work that goes along with it, they still blame you. So I don't give advice. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna blame me and you didn't put the work in. I'm telling you what to do, but guess what? There's work that's associated with it. I'm not finna come lift this shit for you. I did all my lifting. Yeah. My back will tell you. My shoulder is, listen, my last year in 2022, I had a few more months to go. This fucking armoire, bro. And I'm still, it's not right. Fucking armoire, bro. Armoire from hell, just
trust me,
combination. It was an armoire and this huge statue of fucking, I think it was Napoleon. I can't remember. Caesar. This guy, this rich guy in this big mansion, he ordered a concrete mold of Caesar's head, and they delivered it in a crate, but it was curbside, so they put it in his garage, and he hired us to uncrate it. So I'm on the truck. This is during the pandemic. I'm back out there. He hired us to uncrate it, carry it in the house, up the stairs, and when you get, there's a catwalk that looks over the stairs into the living room, but he already had the stand for it, so it sat on like one of those little tables that sit in the hallway in the pass-through when looking over into the dining room, and it was a stand that had a rod, right? It had a rod because the mold of Caesar's head was molded. It was concrete, so under the head was a hole. So you're gonna set the hole on the metal rod, right? But in order for us to set it on there, we had to lift it up and show. But see, but it weighed like 300-400 pounds. So there's no way to, and it's not wide enough that we got plenty of room to. It's a head, so it's like we gotta keep tight because he's literally right here. I'm here, and we gotta kind of lift it up and onto the thing. But like our shoulders, our shoulders ain't that strong. We strong guys to have that much weight suspended in air without, having that full body brace it, and we just couldn't do it. But the effort that was associated with the attempts, it was just wearing on my shoulder. And then a few weeks later, I got to this armoire from hell, and my shoulder literally just went. And luckily, the third guy on that move was, because I was strapped up. I had the strap on. The other guy had the strap. And then we had a guy walking with us because we had to go up the stairs with it. So I'm strapping that bitch, and I'm squatting down. I'm pulling the strap, and I'm ready to go up. And as soon as I go up, my shoulder went. The thing just started turning, but he was right there, and he caught it.
Woo!
Yep. So Yeah. But, you know, 2020, 2021, 2022 was 3 rough years for me. I hadn't been on a truck in 7 years. So when I had to come back out in 2020 because nobody wanted to work, I'm 40 now in 2020 at this point. And I'm working my ass. I'm working from sun up to, man, it was days where I was still on the move at 11, 12 at night. So even though I'm on a skeleton crew, that skeleton crew is still fair weather because they just the people that's getting PPP and unemployment, but they still coming to work, but they coming and they not coming. They coming and they not coming. You see what I'm saying? So it was days where I'm supposed to do 3 moves or 2 moves, and it's supposed to be me and 2 other guys, but now it's just me and 1 guy. So I'm having to do a third to a third with just me and another guy. And then it was one day I was working with a new guy. So it was pretty much like me working by myself. You know what I'm saying? So those 3 years were, and I don't really talk about it. I just say I had to get back on the truck. But those 3 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, were rougher than 2010, 2011, and 2012. Not because I'm older, but because I did a lot of work. Like I did a lot of moves damn near by myself, bro. I had a help, but if I didn't have the few killers that I still had left, like Tim and Chancey and some of these guys that was kind of fair weather now, that was reliable prior to the pandemic, but they was getting money through the, you know, the different sources of people was getting money. Man, Mark, I'm going to Vegas for a week. Man, Mark, I need these days off because, man, people was turning up.
So, Mark, what did that do? What did that do? I heard you talk about, well, the people had the money and they chose to turn up, and then, and now that they fucked all the money off, or not going to say fucked all the money off, made the wrong investments. I heard you speak on that and saying, like, you know, you should be in the house. You shouldn't be partying. Shouldn't be doing all this shit. Shouldn't be doing all this shit that you can't afford. And I think that when most people start making money is when they start thinking that they can spend more money. You know, that's
well,
kind of
the more money you make, the more you spend.
Yeah. Right.
So, you know, unless you've had come into some money before, then you know better than that shit. So I think, you know, luckily for me, when I started a business, I had spurts in my 20s where I was up and I was down. So when I started a business, I knew it was important that, you know, a lot of the dumb shit that I did in my 20s, I couldn't do. You know, so because I was making the shit that I was doing in my 20s was to make extra money so that I could do things that I wanted to do. But once the opportunity presented itself where I'm making more money than I was making working a job and doing the extra shit like gambling, shooting dice, going to the casino, whatever I was doing that was a risk, I didn't have to do that because I'm making a shit ton of money doing what I'm doing. So I didn't have a need to go out and do any extra shit. I'm making, at that point, in my pickup truck I was making. I had days when I was making $500-$600 a day.
That's a good day. A $500-$600 day is a good day. So can you break down what's a good day and what's a bad day for people that don't know?
Everybody's day gonna be different.
I mean, for as the money wise, what's a good day?
It depends on where you at in your business. Where you at as far as what a good day for me with one truck may not be a good day for you. As a guy last week or the week before last said he didn't want to take a load because it would net him $250 for the day. Me in that position getting started, I'm gone. Because that's $250 more than what I had yesterday.
Goddamn.
See, me personally, I don't think I'm bigger than the business. Listen, I had trucks running at a net profit of $100 a day, but I got X amount of trucks. So all that money is compounded. So I understand, you know, the margins are already small. I also understand competition. And I also understand that my trucks are running 7 days a week. You see what I'm saying? So I'm making a little money here, a little money here, a little money here, a lot of money there, a medium money here. That truck's making a little. This group of trucks making a little. My moving trucks are making a lot. But at the end of the day, after it's all said and done, after all the costs are paid, I'm still making a lot of money in abundance, right? So on a one truck, like that guy said 250, if I was in his position, I'm gone. I'm not finna sit here and wait. 250, I'm gone.
Most
Well, I ain't finna
most
drive
people
all
don't
day
make
for 250. Well,
$250 a
that's
day.
you. But see, that's what I'm saying. For net 250, we talking about net 250. Me in that position at that point in his career, I'm gone.
Right.
You
But
see
you
what I'm
got to
saying?
understand this, though,
So,
Mark. What a lot of people don't know. The average person doesn't make $250 a day.
but I
The working man,
understand that. I
the
understand
average
that.
working person every day
But
does not make fucking $250 a day. They don't.
you gotta understand, a lot of people out here now, you got a lot of people who are in business now, but they not really business people.
Right.
So they don't understand that, you're not going to make the same consistent money every day in business. You're gonna have days where you make an abundance of money. You're gonna have days where you make okay money. You're gonna have days where you make a little money. You're gonna have days when you make no money. But if money is being presented to me, especially like 250, and that's take away, that's after all pay, I'm gone. Because I'm not thinking about it like, man, I ain't finna do that. No, that's 250 going towards the business. The business is gonna get that too. The business want that 250. Business ain't gonna deal with me until the end of the week. Let me go ahead and get up out the way today, and then we're gonna look for something hopefully better tomorrow. But guess what? If another 250 presents itself tomorrow, then shit, I'm gone. Some people feel like they too good to take that. I took a lot of those tools and fuels, you know what I'm saying, back in the day. I took some of them tools and fuels. Listen, I don't know. Maybe some of these cats come from, entitlement or some shit. I didn't come from that. So you throw 250 in my face at the beginning of my career on the early, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, I'm gone. 250 net. So after I pay everything, I'm working all day, and it's 250 more than what I had. So I'm gonna put that on what I made yesterday and the day before that, and guess what? It's all gonna add up.
Right. And it
You know
makes
what I'm
sense.
saying? So
That's how I used to start thinking about it. I was like, when you started talking about breaking those loads down into $300 loads, like you don't try to go out and do a whole lot. You do try to knock down three loads a day at $300, little small moves here and there. That's just on the moving thing. But I was thinking about it like the average fucking doctor probably makes about $300 a day. Probably $300-$400. That's a doctor.
it depends. Now doctors make $100 and something, $200 an hour.
But when you break it all down and they get their paycheck and their 2-week paycheck, you're looking at about $400-$500 every day, probably what they make after taxes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
On average, they paychecks ain't, well, some of them do. We can't. Well, let's not say doctors, but just the average person doesn't even make $200 a day. They don't.
Yeah. You
So
got.
so
There's a
so
guy in here last week said he wasn't gonna take it. So to each his own. But
yeah.
So
What else I was gonna say? I was gonna touch on something else saying that. Shit. The small loads, the daily amounts, oh, that's what I was gonna say. What really kind of turned me on to your channel and I started watching was you kind of reminded me of one of my uncles. So everybody had a summer job when they was younger. Well, not everybody, but most people had a summer job when they was going to middle school, high school. And what was that normal summer job was? Either you worked at the grocery store, you worked at a little moving company somewhere. But my uncle had a trucking company, and he worked for Chair King. Have you ever heard of Chair King?
Chair King? No.
Yeah,
No.
it's a company down here in Texas based, and they only do patio furniture. So they charge people $3,000-$4,000 for patio furniture. You know, they're a high-end patio furniture
Is it
store.
rock? It's rock. It's probably rock. A lot of furniture is probably wrought iron. Probably wrought iron patio furniture.
And that wicker basket shit and all that old
Okay.
that that wicker stuff. But and you know who's buying $3,000-$4,000 patio furniture? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I had an
So,
account delivering. Well, this was one of my direct accounts. We would pick up the patio furniture, but it was wrought iron. We would take it to a place that powder coated it, and then we would do the deliveries of the stuff that was powder coated. So it was like rich white people.
right. So at like 14 years old, my uncle called and he's like, "Hey, you want to work this summer?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." But he's all the way in fucking Austin, Texas. He got 4 box trucks, 26-foot box trucks.
Mm.
And he was like, "All right, my driver will be over to your auntie house to pick you up in the morning and just jump in a truck with him, and then y'all gonna go deliver some patio furniture." Made good money.
Mm.
But we went to Cherokee to the location. They had already had the stops loaded up, the tickets loaded up and everything. And man, we rode from Houston to Galveston, dropping off
Mm.
patio furniture.
Yeah.
And he had 4 trucks. Crazy
Mm-hmm.
part about it is I never really saw him because he stayed in Austin and he was running. He had 2 trucks in Houston and 2 trucks in Austin. And he was making some good fucking money off of those trucks. And he was
Mm-hmm.
renting trucks. He didn't own them. They was budget trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then he explained, he was like, "More." I was like, "Well, why don't you just buy the trucks?" He was like, "Because if they break down, budget's going to do the maintenance. I ain't got to do the maintenance.
No,
I just buy another truck."
that's what he told you.
Yeah. Well, this was when I was in high school. This was 20 years ago.
He was paying for the main. He just didn't know it.
He just didn't know it, probably through the miles and this and that. Yeah.
The whole purpose of the renting a truck is the truck to make money. The truck don't make money. There's no business model. The business model is for the truck to make money. The cost of the maintenance is baked into the cost of the rental. I don't know why people find this so hard to believe. Like that shit just like it's a business. Renting box truck rental. They make money off renting the truck. If the truck loses money, then there's no business. The business model is for the truck to make money. The cost is baked in. But nonetheless, we did that show last week. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. But he started having problems with drivers. Of course, I was like 15, 16 years old, so I couldn't drive yet. But he started having problems with drivers. Motherfuckers will get paid, don't want to come to work. And it's hard to run a business. See, he can control those little people in Austin, but in Houston, he was having hell keeping them drivers in them trucks.
Well, moving and final mile is tough. It's a tough job, and it's tough to retain people. And I tell people this all the time. But where a lot of people that run these businesses, fall short when it comes to retention is they don't want to pay nobody. See, I always pay people good.
That's what
I'm saying, because I understand that if a person doesn't come to work, you're not gonna make money. See, you got to put yourself. So back in the day when I used to work at Target. After I graduated from school, I worked at Target. I hated Target. I hated going there because I felt like I went to school all these years. I'm supposed to have a better job than this. So every morning, I would sit on the edge of that bed like, man, I do not want to go. Should I quit this shit? And you don't ever want to run a business and have your employees think that. You want to make sure that they're getting paid handsomely enough that the pay is the motivation for them to come, even if the job is strenuous. But man, fuck this, man. This day gonna be rough. But man, I know I'm gonna get at least $150 for the pay, and I know I'm gonna at least get about $100 in tips, right? So they looking at, I got guys making $250, $300 in a day, right? You see what I'm saying? Because they getting good tips. So on a good day, they might make $200 to $300 with the tips, right? So, you have to pay them good. So this is going to ultimately increase. So when I say, on a lot of those final mile routes, my margins are small, but I was working on even smaller margins because I was making sure that the people get paid. My employees were getting paid just at what the truck was making or more. So some routes the crew was making more than what the truck actually made, right? So my Office Depot route, I was giving them a guarantee of 100, and the truck was net 100. We were running on a 33% margin because I negotiated a $300 guarantee per truck. I was running 9 trucks for that account, right? So it was costing me $100 to run the equipment, $100 in labor, so $200 to run it, and then 100 was coming back. But the drivers was getting $100, right? So the driver was making what the truck was making, and I'm okay with that. So you got some people in business, they feel like they're supposed to make more money than they work. It's not necessarily. And then these are the people that have problems with retaining people. See, I've never had problems with retaining people because I pay good. I'd rather make a little bit in abundance and keep shit rolling, keep shit moving, because I'm still getting something at the end of the day. I need you to want to come to work. I don't want you thinking about this shit. I want you to think about the money you're going to miss and how pissed off I'm going to be when you don't come. I had one of my past employees come up and he said he learned something from me when he started his own business. He said, man, you piss Mark off, you don't show up to work, you piss Mark off, Mark going to give you a week or two to think about it. Yeah, I'm going to give you a week to think about it. I'm going to let you starve.
That's good shit.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you suffer.
You're going to be
because and I'm ignoring you. Like, listen, I've had grown men calling me crying.
Back to back, huh, boy?
So man, please, Mark, hey man, you no call, no show. Woo. You was a no call, no show, man. I'm gonna give you a little time to think about it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm paying you good. That's why you crying. Ain't nobody finna call you crying if they know they ain't getting paid good.
I got that rule too. I don't reward bad behavior. You can't fuck over me and then just think that we just gonna be A-okay with the money and everything is gonna run smooth.
But see, it's not really you gotta understand, when you in moving and like final mile, you dealing with a different type of individual. You're not dealing with an individual who is a white collar mentality employee. You dealing with the type of people you dealing with in this industry. You dealing with a goon, or you dealing with an illegal, or someone who, you know what I'm saying, is trying to become legal. You dealing with someone who, an illegal alien, you know what I'm saying? A legal alien, or you dealing with an individual who, society has, neglected because of their past mistakes. People like that, you catch doing roofing, you catch doing moving, you catch them doing the more intensive labor. Who want to get up on a roof on 100? Imagine roofing in Phoenix. Imagine roofing in Texas, right? So imagine roofing like today it was 95 degrees. So imagine being on a roof. So like you get the Hispanics or you get the felons. Same thing with moving, right? So with me, it was more the goons and the gorillas. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want to fire, especially if you find somebody that's good, that when they do come to work, they a killer. You see what I'm saying? So you can't let them go. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they, they good. So you have to, you gotta spank them a little bit. And the best way to spank somebody is to play with their money. So,
all right. So okay, let's talk about, because you brought it up, temperatures, heat, conditions, people, the people that you're going to be dealing with in the business, but understand what they do in their off time. And have you ever had people at the job, falling out, not getting enough rest? Of course that happens, but on a how often basis does it happen? Where it's like, hey, Mark, I can't make it today. Mark, I had a bad night last night.
Not often. I had a guy throw up on the job, but it was like his first day.
Yeah.
And he didn't, a lot of people would come to the office and they'll apply and we'll grill them. man, you sure you can do this? Like, this is not, this is hard work, moving and shit like that. Man, I got this, but all that shit. And then I will always put new guys with an A team, which is a team that is the A team, whatever the A teams are, the good teams, right? Because they gonna go out and train them, right? Because they were trained by me, right? And they gonna let me know a keeper or gone or let them go, right? They'll come back like, man, dude ain't worth shit, man. Don't even put him back on our truck. This ain't for him, right? But this guy went out there like the first move, he just threw up, couldn't take it, couldn't handle it. Going up the stairs, carrying shit, it just threw up. So I had that situation happen. I've had people that that have come first day, send them out with an A team, and they like, man, nah, this ain't for him. Dude ain't worth shit. But as far as you gonna always have people not come to work or call off, but when you doing this labor intensive shit, you gotta vet well. You gotta find you some killers. Listen, this moving and this final mile shit, this ain't for everybody, bro. You gotta have somebody that's willing to, that's a killer. For real. You can't have no chumps. They can't be soft. None of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They gotta be willing to go through it. You get 2-3 moves. Let's say you get a 2-bedroom and a 2-bedroom and then 2 1-bedrooms. You got 3 moves scheduled, and let's say 2 of those moves are a third to a third. Like, you gotta have some guys that's hitting them stairs, that's not complaining, that's humping. Like, they shirt so sweaty, it's done changed color and it's sticking to them. You see what I'm saying? They done came out, the dude on the truck, he done came out his shirt. You see him from the bottom left going up them back stairs with that shit strapped up, going up them stairs, humping. Like, that shit ain't. That's why when I see these guys crying and complaining on the air, that's why I be making fun of them shit, because these niggas are soft.
Yeah.
They ain't.
Those are the people that you take care of, right?
You got to take care of them. But see, with moving, you got so much of a margin because shit, during the pandemic, I was charging $300 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So, $100 an hour a man. So, and that's the going rate depending on where you're at in the industry as far as your tenure. My client base, I'm in over a decade. So my clients, you third floor, 3 guys, you pay more than that.
And then, so listen, by you making so much money and you understanding the business, to when you get to a certain level, if your guys, say, hey, Mark, I need a little help, man. I had this happen, that happened. But I need advance. I need this. I need, I'm a hard worker. I'm there.
No advances. I only advanced a few people, and those was like guys that had been with me for years. That was killers. But most people no, because then they get in that habit of over and over and over and over and over again. Listen, if you run through your pay, then that's on you. I'm not the bank, but like key guys, yes. You know what I'm saying? Key guys, yes. So, but not like some of these guys, they just gonna keep coming. But another thing is like the final mile side, the moving side, a lot of these guys are getting money every day because these are 2 industries where they're getting tips. So you have guys that are broke. They done went through their check, but they know they're going to come to work and they're going to get a tip. So you'll see the thuggest, most grimiest, hoodest dudes, and they getting some of them white folks home. They turn that, yes, ma'am. They go above and beyond. Yes, ma'am. Would you like it over here? No, you know what? Can you move it over? Sure, ma'am. Sure. Okay, this is a lovely home you have here. Let me go ahead and screw these legs on. Like, they'll change up their whole demeanor because they know they ain't got shit and they know they need to get these tips, right?
That's good.
So in this industry, you really don't have that issue because, you getting tipped and you getting tipped well. It's labor intensive. They seeing this shit. You know, especially white people, they're ordering you pizza. You guys hungry? Okay. We're going to Jimmy John's. What do you want? We're going to order Jimmy John's. You know what I'm saying? They'll order you Jimmy John's and shit. They'll just have the shit. They'll come to DoorDash guy come. You thinking they're going to order you one sandwich. They don't order the whole goddamn spread of the shit. You see what I'm saying? So these guys is they making tips. So you really don't got to worry about that. So.
All right. That's good, man. This is a good conversation, man. I need to get that link to what you was talking about in that that other group that you guys be talking in and stuff like that. And I guess
Discord.
I'll come back and I got some more questions. I'm gonna write down some more things, but I think you touched on a lot of things that I had questions on just the business in general. Kind of what to expect, what to look for, and when I want to go 26-footer, we're gonna definitely talk because I think, like you said, a lot of people think that, oh, I can get into the game, or versus say like this, I got a $50,000 truck loan, or I got $50,000 cash. Do I buy the truck cash, or do I lease the truck?
You what? 26-footer?
26-footer.
You want my honest answer?
Yeah.
I'm not buying a $50,000 26-footer.
Okay.
I'm not buying no $50,000 26-footer. Now, to each his own. Some guys out here, man, I'm looking for 20. I'm looking for that 20-piece nugget.
Yeah,
that quarter. I'm looking for that quarter wallet. Listen, I'm coming with it. I'm coming with 200, $100 bills. You dig what I'm saying? We talking about cash and carry, big dog. Yeah. I'm in and out like a thief in the night. I'm not for to be, because I'm coming for the. Well, I'm trying to keep my costs down.
And it's gonna break down anyway.
I'm not worried about no. Listen, I'm not worried about no breakdown. I ain't worried about no breakdown. These guys worry about breakdowns. Listen, if you're in the trucking business and you worried about a breakdown, you shouldn't be in the trucking business. A truck is going to break down. That's just like saying, man, I'm finna go rent a car for the rest of my life because I don't want to buy a car because I don't want to have to pay the maintenance. So I'm just going to go rent this little Hyundai Elantra from Hertz for the rest of my life for $67 a day because I don't want to pay. That's the dumbest shit in my life I've ever heard in my life. So go rent you a car. Don't go buy no car then. Go rent you a car. You'll pay the maintenance on your personal car, but you won't pay the maintenance on something that's paying for itself? How are you even paying the maintenance on it? The truck is paying for itself. Just like the rental truck company bakes the cost of the maintenance in to, what they rent it for throughout the tenure of them owning it before they sell it. Your truck should be making money. So when people say they don't want to pay the maintenance, I'll be like, what do you mean? You're not paying it. The business is paying it. If the truck is making money, what the fuck you care about maintenance for? I had a guy in here last week in the Discord, probably one of my top, I don't even call him a student, just someone who found my channel, followed my content, never did nothing, coaching session or nothing. Just watched all my videos, came in the live streams, asked questions. He said, man, Mark, one of his pieces of equipment broke down last week was $8,000. He said, man, I just paid it, man. Fuck it. He said, it's nothing. I said, man, it's moving money, Mark. You always said this moving money different. That shit different. I said, man, it's $8,000, man. I just paid the shit. He said this shit's so cool. That's why I knew he had the bag, because the way he said it, he didn't complain. He said, yeah, I just paid it, man. It was cool. It just paid. It's nothing.
Yeah.
I said, oh, yeah, he running it up. He running it up, listening to me. Said move money is different. I mean, put in the chat, man. You made some moving money. You know that moving money different. Put hashtag that moving money different in the chat. It's different.
Oh, I know.
I've been telling people that shit since day one. So, it's just people don't want to do the shit. You know what I mean? So, hey, no problem.
It's work.
No,
but it's work that a lot of people don't want to do. So it's a lot of money in it.
there's a lot of money in it because don't nobody want to do it. So
A lot of people don't want to do it, so it's a lot of money in it.
don't do it. That's the difference from making $250 a day and $5,000. I had $5,000 moving days on one truck.
Yeah, I can believe it.
So I've had days where one truck would be on the move from sun up to sundown. I've had days where a truck would start a move at 8 and not finish until 4 or 5 the next morning. I've had moves where the moves took 3 days. You know what I'm saying? So, you get those type of moves. You run your smaller, your 16 footers. My 16 footers, I ran those 3-4 moves a day. So each move is averaging, let's say back, I'm going to give you the time period from back then. Let's say the 2013 to 15 window. Those trucks during that time period, each move was averaging about 300-400. Now as things go up, as time goes on, then you just, you say what?
That's where I get that from.
Yeah, so if you on a truck and you doing 1 bedrooms and below, so 1 bedroom, studio, and just a few items, then shit. And you on the truck, you make $1,000 a day. You paying your helper, let's say $20 an hour. Let's say you average about 3 hours each move. That's 9 hours, right? He's making 180. He's making more than that because one of the moves gave him a tip. He probably got a tip on all of them. So you making, let's say on average 300, that's 900, right? You paying him 180. So you got what, 720 left. Let's say you put $80 in the tank. You got 640. And whatever your costs are for your materials that you use that day. Now, if you paying a truck or insurance and shit, you can calculate that in. But once you calculate that in, you still over 500 or right around 500. Now, let's say you tenured a little more, you licensed. Now you charging 125 or 150 an hour or 200 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Now you charging more for your truck fee, right? So now at this point, a 1 bedroom, let's say if I was running right now, a 1 bedroom, you're going to take 3 guys, you paying $200 an hour, you paying a truck fee. A one bedroom that's going to run you 3 to 4 hours with me, you spending $1,000. If it takes 4 hours, that's $800, right? $150 truck fee, that's $950. So a 4-hour 1 bedroom move, you spending damn near $1,000.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy, Mark? What a lot of people don't understand when you say that moving money is different is that a lot of people don't want to move their own shit. And that's why the money is good. Because a lot of people say, you know what? I'd rather just pick up this phone, have these people come pick this shit up, pay these people. And they don't want to move their own shit.
Hey, well, that's the difference from, a person who gonna make a little money, a person who gonna make a lot of money. The more you work, the harder you work, the more money you gonna make. The money is in the work that's harder. If you want to drive dock to dock, that's fine. I'm not knocking that. Moving ain't for everybody, just like business ain't for everybody. But I didn't know over the road existed. When I first started, it was leading me putting an ad for my pickup truck to do small moves and deliveries. But if a person would, let's say, present it to me, look, Mark, this is your future. You could either choose this middle mile thing and explain it to me, this moving furniture thing, this pays this pays that, and explain the scope. I'm going with the more harder work. I need the harder work because I'm willing to work harder for a shorter period of time. I want to make the most money doing whatever is hard. Then I'm making, for real, to be honest with you, I just want to make the most money. So if it comes with harder work, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making a more of abundance of money so that when things come like pandemics 10 years later, I've already made a shit ton of money, my business is already successful. I've already acquired assets and I have other streams of revenue. So I'm already in a safe space. You see what I'm saying? Now, with the middleman thing, it fluctuates depending on the market. The moving, it's like this, and this is something I never shared. With moving, you making money if the market is good or bad. When the housing market crashed, guess what? People lost their homes, so they had to do what? Move. When the market is good, people are doing what? They're buying homes. So what do people have to do? Move. Right? So whether the market is good or bad, people are moving. When the money is good, people are upgrading their homes. They're moving. When the market is bad, people are losing homes. They're moving. When the market is in the middle being propped up, people are what? Downsizing. You know what? We can't afford to live in a Trump no more. So now we gotta go find a apartment in one of these communities because you know what? I got a roommate. We renting a 2-bedroom on the 50th floor of the Trump. We paying $6,000-7,000 a month, but my roommate ain't got her $3,500, and I can't afford to pay the whole rent myself. So now you got these couples or these roommates that's moving out of the Trump, and this person is going to find them a $2,000 1-bedroom, and this person. So that's what. Now that's 2 moves coming out. Well, can you book me on the 30th, or can you book me on the 1st? So somebody always moving. Economy good or bad? The economy, when it comes to moving, it don't matter. If it's bad, people are losing. You're capitalizing on someone else's loss. It's unfortunate, but when the money is good and people are buying homes, a lot of people moving during the pandemic. Why? Because the interest rates were at its all-time lowest.
Right. And then a lot of people don't also see this too, Mark. You gotta, if people wanted to move their own shit, they have to go to U-Haul, go rent a truck, pay for the mileage, pay for the how long you gonna keep the truck. That ain't even putting in no fucking work yet. You ain't lifted up shit yet. Then you gotta call whoever that you think gonna come help you. That's probably much not gonna help you. But so that's why the moving money is good, because people know how hard it is. They still have to go spend money anyway. So I might as well just spend money with this one fucking company. They're gonna come with the truck and everything.
Yeah. Well, you got demographics that don't hire movers, but then you have demographics that do. The demographics that do, they don't mind spending the money. So that's who I target. That's who I target. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, it was good talking to you. Good advice. I'm gonna jump into that other group, and I'll hit you up. I'll probably join another live. I got some more questions on box trucking thing, but man, big ups, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and that's pretty much it.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, guys. That concludes episode 30 of the Call-In Show. That ends season 1. We will start season 2 probably sometime in November. So no Call-In Show for the next couple months. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a break from the Call-In Show. So appreciate you guys. This was a great first season. Do me a favor. Make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out. And the Call-In Show will be back in November for season 2. Make sure you join the Discord. Pippi just put the link there. I'm going to actually pin it. Let's see. Oh, no, I can't pin it. Oh, yeah, I can. All right, there you go. All right, link is pinned to the top of the chat to join the Discord. So that's end of it's the end of the Call-In Show for the next couple months. So we'll probably ramp it back up in November. I'm gonna take me a mental break from the Call-In Show. But feel free to join the Discord. Appreciate you guys. See you guys tomorrow for a morning live stream. I'm out.